Yes.
The rest of the time he was going with the full body, running to the floor with the full body. So once you put Wairia down to the floor, immediately he walks. He kneels and walks to the doctors.
Kila time alikuwa anaeka kwa karai hivi ama basket, anaeka hapo. Then naambiwa nisimguze, atakikani alie.
If we are told immediately, Wairia would be better within 1.5 months. Once you are doing the delivery, they should advise the parent how to deal with such a problem.
Yeah. Hello viewers, my name is Wanjugonderi, and today I'm excited to bring to you a topic that is very dear to my heart. For a long time, I have wanted to host a parent to a child living with Down syndrome. And I'm so excited to mention that today we have one parent who has a child, rather a teenager, living with Down syndrome. And so without further ado, I'll ask him to introduce himself.
Thank you very much, viewers. My name is James Mukona Kariuki. I'm a Kenyan from Murang'a County, Gataga Sub-County in Kariara Ward. I'm a parent of Alex Wairia Mukona, who is Down syndrome. The date of birth is 10th of August 2004. Now he is approaching 18 years next month. So it's now exiting.
Okay, my name is Amos Mukona. I'm the brother to Alex Wairia. I'm a governor. So tumekuwa naye since 2004. By then I was 4 years. So sikuwa najua mambo mingi, but then nikakuja kujua niko na brother. By then mi ndio nilikuanga last born. Ndipo sasa yeye akakujanga akakuwa sasa ni last born.
Sasa yeye ni fourth born.
Yeah. So ni third born sasa.
We discovered the problem with Alex immediately once he was born. Once his mother get birth of Alex, he refused to cry, and once he refused to cry, he was beaten by the nurse at the back, so that he can cry. So he has beaten. The nurse beaten twice, and the Alex started crying. So that's the problem, how the Wairia started the problem.
Singewahi itikishwa nimchukue pahali alikuanga. Because kila time alikuwa anaeka kwa karai hivi ama basket, anaeka hapo. Then naambiwa nisimguze, atakikani alie, nini vitu kama hizo.
And Wairia, to manage to walk, his mother keep on carrying Wairia for about 3 years. So he started walking 3 years when he was 3 years. But before 3 years, once you are at the shamba doing the cultivation of the shamba and doing the picking of the tea, that's the time we realized Wairia has a problem as a father. And that stage I started thinking how to manage Wairia. But actually I was not able to translate whether Wairia is a Down syndrome or whatever, because he was eating normally. But when he started walking, that's the problem why we started seeing there's a problem.
So let me interrupt you kidogo. So at hospital, once vile hakulia sasa vile amezaliwa, daktari waliwaambia kwa nini hajalia ama waliassume?
No. The problem is, you see now when you go to labor ward, once you deliver a child, immediately the sign of the child is to cry. But Wairia doesn't cry immediately. Once his mother delivered in the labor ward, he refused to cry. Then he was held by the nurses and beaten twice at the back. I don't know that, I'm not a nurse, I cannot elaborate that, but they have experience of that. Once he beat Alex on the buttocks twice, he started crying. I don't know the nini. But on that time, the nurses should not, they don't give the indication whether Wairia is the Down syndrome and whatever. So after 2 days, my wife was released kaenda kamkuchukua. And then we started going the normal clinics like any other normal child. Until the time we see now, this is not normal now, because once you started feeding, you start feeding for the 6 months. He was fed by 6 months by his mother, taking care every step and now and then, until the time once we are on the shamba. One of my best friend was a nurse, visited us.
And how old was he at that time?
By that time he was about 1.5, 1.5, something like that.
So this whole period, you guys have not realized that?
1.5, but it is not possible to realize if you are not a doctor and you are not experienced on that line. So we are doing a nursery for trees, and once you are in the shamba, you lie the child on the whatever, and then the nurse come and we started starting. Then he looks to idea, oh, you have a child, yeah. So he started looking to idea. By that time, this arm was like a ball. So it's not like the normal head, the normal hearts and the legs. So he opened the idea, and then the legs were somehow bending. So he advised us how to be attending the clinic. So he gave me the number of the nurse I'm going to see in Thika General Hospital by that time, because there is no near hospital. So I don't take charge. The following day, we go to Thika with Wairia and my wife, and we started doing clinic.
By that time now, kidogo tu, when he has told you that you need to go to Thika level 5 to hospital, amekwambia ni nini, what's going on with your child?
Araniambia, I go to the clinic, the child clinic department. I will be elaborated further how Wairia should be guided. And he told me he need the physiotherapy.
So hakukuniambia,
but he told me the time is not run off. So you are within the period. So if you take care, Wairia would easily walk very easily. So I take him to the clinic at Thika General Hospital. Wairia was examined, and I was given where I can do the physiotherapy. He was booked in this physiotherapy, and then from there I was advised to buy the boots for this physiotherapy, so the legs can be straight, both the legs.
Kuna time madhi aliniambianga nataka tuende clinic, tumpeleke clinic. And wakati nilifika huko kwanza nilicheka. Juu kwanza alipewa kiatu ingine kubwa. So juu hakuwa anaweza kutembea. So nilishindwa hii kiatu ni yeye atavaa ama ni mimi napatiwa.
Kwa sababu ni kubwa.
Kwa sababu ni kubwa, alafu iko na sole kubwa. But nilirudi nika understand. Juu sasa hiyo kiatu ilikuwa ya at least stretch mguu, imsaidie kuwalk, vitu kama hizo.
So Wairia stayed with those shoes for about a year or so, to help Wairia walking. And because if he stay like that, he cannot walk.
Just a minute, let me take you back a little bit. So this nurse has come to your home when Wairia is...
As a friend.
At 1.5 years. So from the time he's born to when he's 1.5 years, are there things that ulikuwa unaona anafaa kuwa ameketi lakini hajaketi? Or are there delays in milestones and ulikuwa unaona something is not right?
Something was not right, but once you are being advised by the nurses to attend the clinic, and that's why I actually blame the nurses. Once you are doing the delivery, they should advise the parent how to deal with such a problem. Because once if we are told immediately, Wairia would be better within 1.5 months. Because you see, he started walking at a age of 3 years.
3 years.
And the rest of the time he was going with the full body, running to the floor with the full body. And then to sit down, you have to support him to sit down. So by that time, you should think about is probably because he is young. We are taking his not seriously, because that time we are not. It is in our family we don't have any such an incident of this, so that we can copy to another family. So we're hoping that God is going to help Oiria with a maturity stage. He is going to come. That nurse advised us to take to the district. He advised us, this is a problem of the nerve. The nerve, because he has a lot of nerves than the normal child, and that nerve should be treated gradually, very slowly, and eventually he will talk, he will walk. So because the nerves are higher than the normal child, so he advises us, once you go to the clinic gradually, those nerves will reduce and they'll come to the nearly to the normal nerves. So I don't take chance. We keep taking Oiria to the dispensary, doing the physiotherapy each and every week. Every week. Every Wednesday lazima is Oiria to be taken for this physiotherapy. But what is very interesting, you should think your child is more worse, and you start blaming God. Why I gave birth to this child? But in my family, me and my wife and my child, because he's the third born, we love Oiria so much. The most interesting is when we go to the physiotherapy, when you are on the line, queuing on the line to go to see the doctor, we are being given the first priority, because Oiria, you cannot hold Oiria. The mother cannot hold Oiria, because eventually he is a very active child by that time. So once you put Oiria down to the floor, immediately he walks. He kneels and walks to the doctor's room. So he stays there. He looks how the doctors are doing, looking how the other childs are doing. So eventually you can see your child is far much better than the people, than the child you left there. So after 10 or 20 minutes, we are caught, and we are advised how Oiria is to be taken care and whatever. So we take that chance, and we develop Oiria with the physiotherapy, with the boot and whatever, for about 3 years. Eventually, Oiria, we have the physiotherapy for the heads, for the two heads, hearts, and the legs. So eventually, Oiria stood up and started walking. But his walking was really difficult, because he is walking and then falling down.
Alikuwa anaoka bow-legged, anasimama kidogo, miguu ziko bow-legged, alafu anaanguka. So anashindwa ku stand for long. Anasimama ka 30 seconds, alafu anaanguka.
We continue with the physiotherapy until the time Oiria now started walking. Oiria is a very active boy.
At what age does he stabilize the walking?
By that time, what we did in the home to give him the support, other than the physiotherapy, he walk around with the sofa set. We have I made a small walking or wall, where he can actually start the rope on this side, or the fence of this side. He go around. So once you in the homestead, we have I have created a small field where Oiria can go around every time, walking. So that's another issue I help Oiria to walk.
So nataka nikurudishe nyuma kidogo. At what point ndio mlijua, who told you it is Down syndrome?
I was told by that nurse.
The one mwenye mlitumwa kwake?
The one who visited to us. It's a real doctor. It's a nurse. By then now he is an old lady. He retired. He told me this is a problem being created by the birth. Once you are delivering the child, there's a bacteria. You see, there's a bacteria entering into the mother's womb, whatever, when you are delivering. Can you see now you can go to deliver a child and then you have a bacteria which can actually kill you, or when you are going to do the operation, there's this bacteria enter to the stomach, and then it troubles anybody who goes to the hospital, and then eventually die. So this is like something which is a bacteria, a kind of. When his mother is being pregnant, during the pregnancy, I think that bacteria entered on that day without knowing, and then the doctors, the nurses, immediately how could identify that problem. So that is the bit. So he advises this is a normal problem, but this child, you cannot identify your child and another child because are all this like they are all the like. So eventually you should have a mark of your child. When you mix them to other child, you have to have a mark of your child when you can identify your child. And then, so he told me that it is not a common disease, but it is deformity in the Kenya. It is not many. And then the Minister of Health by that time was doing a little bit of a research how to deal with the Down syndromes, because iko watu wengine wanagua the disabled and whatever. This is not like disabled, but eventually the Down syndrome walk, and eventually the Down syndrome eventually will talk.
Yeah. So nataka nikukosoe kidogo kwa sababu pia mimi si daktari, lakini I had a sister who had Down syndrome. So normally Down syndrome haitaletwa na bacteria yenye tuseme mtu akizaliwa inaingia kwa mwili ya mtoto. Kenye kinafanyika ni kama sasa Down syndrome genetics zinakuwa, mwili yako inakuwa na a lot of, kama sasa mimi ni mweupe because mwili genes, you know genes. Ni demwero todo genes cia kwa ni
I'm getting you.
Cia kere igakorwo ni nyingi makiria hanini, nona
for the mother or for the
mwana. We ukihe mwana waku chromosomes 23
probably
nake inyina kimuhe 23,
it can be happen that
arafu wakigia ikeigiha akahana gwa hana todo mwiri wake wena information nyingi.
Oh, that's another education, thank you to know that.
Yeah, ushigiha mwiri ukarigwo what to do with the extra genetic material.
Oh, okay.
Nike mahananaga ni todo mwiri wena information nyingi utoe uri ogweka nacio nwanyita. Sasa ndu nugo Down syndrome na yagaga kumenyeka tondu mwana aciarwo uri onona mwana physical traits yake itire iraumira wega. Riu mundu no age kumenya.
Okay.
Kana ngega kurora wega no age kumenya.
Okay. Now that's a good information, because actually at the end of the day these childs are very genius. Very genius. So now the other issue of the area, once he is growing up, something like burning, something like you see like a grass can fall from the drawer, or anything bang. That's a very big stubborn to these children, because once something bang the floor, anastuka, and then he started crying. So those things haiwekuwa nataka hiyo maneno ya kitu inaanguka kama kitu bang, hata kitu ikirua kama tuseme kama power saw. You see the power saw inakuja sasa kukata miti, hiyo kitu inaguruma kwa wingi, hiyo ilikuwa inamsubua kwa kichwa kabisa. So that is the formatting. Wakati tulirealize hivyo, tulienda na hiyo kitu ikakwisha kwa mwili wa Iria, na akaendelea na akaenda mzuri.
So, kidogo tu vile sasa huyu daktari mumeenda thika level 5, mumeambiwa nini mtoto wako na shida gani? Aliweza kukuambia ukiona mtoto wako anafanana hivi ni juu ako na Down syndrome? Aliweza kukupointia like symptoms zenye zinafanya ajue ni Down syndrome?
You see now, once the doctor see the problem where the problem is, it is very hard to elaborate you where the problem started. So the doctor started hearing that problem until the child will get whatever. But he cannot go back to the history where this problem occurs.
Okay.
But if he immediately identify the problem, and the work of the doctor is to heal the problem. But once you go back there, probably you can actually go to the history, and probably you can the two families can separate. Is it?
Yeah.
It's very easy to separate because there are so many families. Like now, our family and my wife's family, there's no any problem like this one. It's not genetic. You see? So I started accusing my wife, where have you got this child from? Because in our family you don't have this one. Where have you get this one? And then eventually, because to bring up Wailia to this stage is a very, 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 very expensive life. A very expensive life. Yeah. If the mother is not married to Wailia, he can run off and live Wailia with his father to take care. So it is not necessary. I cannot advise the doctors to tell the problem where the problem is, because once you go dig to the problems, you can end up in the separation. And there are so many families who have separated because of this kind of the Down syndromes and whatever. Because if you go to the history on your side and my side, there's nothing like that. So eventually, where are you going to lie the problem? You have gone outside the marriage. Yeah. You see, this kind of thing. And then what are you going to tell me is to where you are going? It's your problem. So this problem, once it occurs in the family, I can urge the family to come together so that they can bring up these children, like what we come up with my wife and mother Wailia and me, to get together to bring up Wailia until this stage, because that's early stage. It troubles the mother very. Let me tell you, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. I wish within sometimes you are going to visit Wailia's mother, because he has gained somewhere, because he has an order to deliver today, very urgent. It is a very, very painful journey to bring Wailia up to where he is, because eventually you can have troubles in the family, and then you are saying, so you are doing this because I have a child who has Down syndrome, whatever, you this kid. You have to come together and listen together and bring the child together. For information, Wailia is the third born. And from Wailia, behind Wailia, there are two girls, and they are normal. Is it? Yeah. So, eventually, if you are, kama hatukukuja pamoja na mama Wailia, Wailia amekuwa hivyo amekuwa. So we have struggled. Is a very expensive experience, and I thank my wife and I thank my children, because they love Wailia very much. Now Wailia, where Wailia is, Wailia has gone through the primary education, special education, in Kiroguru.
Kidogo tu. Mulimpeleka special school.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming. Wailia started his school as a nursery in Kimadi Primary School as a special. No, Ndakaine Primary.
Mulienda shule pamoja ama mulipelekwa shule tofauti?
Nilikuwa Ndakaine Primary. So ndivyo akaletwa, at least nursery akuwe na wale watoto wengine. So by then mimi alikuwa nakuja, tunachekeshana mpaka kwa class, vitu kama hizo. Then unapata mtu ameanza kukuchekelea kitu kama hiyo, but wewe huwezi mind, juu huyu ni brother yako.
So nataka kusema students wengine walikuwa na
unajua hao hawakuwa na understanding nini amefanya nini. Amefika kiwango ya nursery hadi jina yake hajui, hawezi kuisema, vitu kama hizo. Yeye kazi yake ni kuzurura, kucheza, kuchekesha wale wengine. By the way anakuanga funny sana. So alikuwa anachekesha wale wengine. Unaona anafanya tu vituko, watu wanacheka tu.
Wakati aligrow, tulimtransfer, nikamtafutia shule, akatoka Kimandi. Tukaenda kwa special school, Kiroguru special school. Na hapo Wailia akaenda, na wakati alikuwa Kimandi na whatever, Wailia alikuwa anaandika 1 2, alikuwa anaongea kidogo. So wakati alienda kwa Kiroguru, iko watu wengine wako na Down syndrome, iko watu wengine na physically challenged. They are not the same class. You see, he cannot rhyme, because huyu akona mambo hii, there's a Down syndrome mix of mix of reaction of the special needs in that clinic. I happened to be the chairman of the PTO that time, so I managed to bring that school somehow in a little bit higher. Until now, Wairia is 18, is now exiting. So Wairia cannot go now to the special school. Now what Wairia needs is now to be taken to the technical school to level of the skills, carpentry and whatever, kuchona viatu nini na nini. And Wairia, he likes he likes those things.
What's his favorite?
Before we come to favorite, Wairia, now if Wairia, we left Wairia at home, he can easily take a food and put it to the microwave and warm and he eat. Wairia washes himself. The problem Wairia has now is just only communication. It's just only communication. But each and everything is very genius. Very genius.
When you say the problem he has is communication, for someone who is watching and might be wondering what you mean.
The communication is we cannot sit down, me and you, and we start talking.
He cannot talk.
But Wairia is already in the special school. He knows about the sign language. He actually do the sign language. But eventually, when they are joking with their brothers and whatever, you can hear, Baba, Ambo ananifanya hii. So he fears to talk, and you cannot repeat Wairia. Ebu rudia tena. Come again, what you have said. Hawezi rudia. Akisema amesema once na amenyamaza. So he knows what he is doing and what is right and what is not right to do. And his hobby is a hobby of TV, music. He like praying. Kumwekea chakula hapo hawezi kula kabla hajaomba. Anaomba kila kitu akikula. Hata saa zingine ndio tuombe. Unasoma tu sababu ni wa Catholic, unaona vile anaomba paka anakula. Hata kuosha nyumba akiambiwa na mamake, leo ni wewe utaosha nyumba, anaosha. Ukimwambia chukua hii upeleke kia kuku, pelekea ng'ombe. Hata kabla akue aende kwa nini, alikuwa naamka kitu kama ni 5 unamkuta kwa shamba na jembe anashiba. So he's a very active. But now according to his level of the things now, he like
being active.
Very active with the stake, praying the stake and whatever, and you cannot remove Wairia from there. Once he sits in the sofa set, he takes his own stakes, he start praying, sounding. You see, once they croak together, iko na sound inatoa, those sound crack his mind. I don't know unless I get somebody to elaborate me what sound those things are. Because you cannot remove Wairia from there. From morning to the evening, even when you are watching the TV, hiyo kitu tu anaweka tu akikula, akimaliza anachukua. The other thing, you cannot teach Wairia anything from the smartphone. He knows everything. Once I give him my phone or his mother's phone or their brother's phone, he can go to anywhere. Either internet, either where, he can access the phone each and everywhere. So you can see, because of the care he was taken by the mother and the father from the young, that's why Wairia, you can see. And we love this. We love the child. We love the child so much. If we go to somewhere like probably in the town, and we mix, you go to the child, either girl or a boy with the Down syndrome, can see you can actually access your child because of how you know your child, but they are all the same. Either a boy or a girl, they are all the same. Now I'm looking where I can, if God can help me, if I can see a better school, we are wishing to get Wairia to a higher level so that he can have his the scale of learning and whatever. We can do a lot of things in this Republic of Kenya. because there are so many people. I realize there are so many people like Wairia who are having Down syndromes. And this, I can urge the government and the NGOs and whatever to come out and help these children. Probably I'm able, I'm not 100% able, but can you imagine a father and a mother who is not unable? He is not able to bring Wairia as I have brought Wairia. So it's my calling. And I pray God, what you are doing, you started and the God brings that your idea. And I can urge the donors and whatever, either outside the country or inside the country, to get together to help these children because they are not reminded. If you go like now, the Obino, they have their own society. You have these physically challenged children, they have their own and their bride. What about the Down syndrome? The Down syndrome, they don't have their sponsor. Even the government cannot build this institution to teach these children or to teach the teachers how to handle the Down syndrome people. So I can urge the government of the country to come out and help the hardest your work, because actually me as the father of Wairia have done a lot for the community, because it's not my wish to have a bad like Wairia. I actually do the donation of food to the needy children, helping them with the walking sticks, helping them with the wheelchairs and whatever. That is my calling. Each and every year I have to look for the donation for wheelchairs, for food for these people, this kind of thing, without fear. But if you want to go well, don't align yourself with the politics because you are going to fail. You see? So it's good that you can have a person who have that passion, who have gone away with these children. Like you have your sister, I have my son. So it's a noble idea, it's a good idea, and God is going to bless your idea. And then probably at the end of the day, you are going to help the Kenyans. There are so many people, and I can urge the Kenyans to come out. Those people, those children with they are having a Down syndrome, to cap up and speak up so that probably we can reach them. Yeah.
Kenya, nilikuwa sasa nataka nikuulize about sasa vile ameingia teenage. Nilikuwa nataka sasa nikuulize about his teenage because they have slow development na milestone. Was he timely ukimlinganisha sasa na kijana wako mkubwa, how he skipped from childhood into adolescence? Can you say huyu pia alienda the same ama alidelay kidogo kuingia into teenage and adolescence?
Amedelay kidogo. You see, I can you see my second born is here. When he gets circumcised, I cannot leave Wairia alone. They go together. Yeah. So that they can be taken care of together. But we actually try to each and every stage to take a step as their brothers are taking each and every stage.
He goes through it.
But what we cannot agree on, what we cannot access him, is to get married. You see? Now, this is your child. You have to keep him until you see when the God is going to open him to know more about whatever. That's whatever. And we the most important of this as a father and a mother is to have a cause for the child, so that he can earn a learning. You see? Because the other daughters, they are praying each and every day to complete schools, and they will take Wairia to where they are going to be employed and to bring up Wairia, and even their brothers. So we take Wairia as our own child. We love Wairia. We can do everything to Wairia, and we are made to do to his brother. Because his brother has brains, he has whatever, but this child akona kitu kidogo.
So I'm still hapa circumcision. Do you explain sasa when you are taking such action, mtaha vile conversation uambie, okay, now this is what is going, ataelewa?
You see now it's in a early stage, every stage. they have a signs
Yeah.
of doing something. He knows he is now moving from this stage to another stage. Before he got to circumcision, even his conscience inamwambia, I'm grown up, I'm going to have another stage. Unaona sasa anakataa pahali anakaa, analala, anatoka, anaenda kwa wale wanatoka. So that's already showing him he is exiting kwa nyumba, anaenda kukaa kwa
vijana wengine.
Kwa vijana wengine. So unaona sasa hakitaki kucheza na hawa. Unaona sasa anatoka kwa hiyo anaenda kucheza na wale wakubwa. So he drives gradually. It's a graph. Yeah. It's a graph inaenda namna hiyo tu.
Okay. Okay.
Ukimwadia karatasi saa hii andike, utaona he writes like a doctor.
Yeah.
Clearly. Very clearly. Kwa una kalamu au una karatasi uone?
Ndio kwenda ndoko boira andike.
Yeah, you see, no, now it's a gift.
Yeah.
It's to our family is a gift, by the way.
Yeah. Alafu because watoto wako na Down syndrome, sometimes they might have health issues because their immunity inaweza kuwa imesuppressiwa kidogo. When it comes to him, akona any underlying issue ama yeye yako sawa?
I can give thanks to God because Wairia does not have any health problem.
Yeah.
The healthy problem Wairia has is just only flu, and then the deworming. Just only that. He doesn't have any problem with the healthy.
Yeah.
He's very healthy.
Yeah.
He eats well. Na wakati anataka kucheza mpira anataka kutoka na huko akimbie, wanakimbia na kijana yake, lakini sababu sasa anaona vile anaona na watu hapo anaona. Hata tunaenda kasi, tunamwacha kwa nyumba the whole day.
Yeah.
Unaona kitu, hakuna kitu ati utakuta ati imeharibika ama nini. Mwachie chakula yake, mwachie nini. Hata ukikuta anakuja tu, wapi mama? Kwambia hayuko. Ameenda wapi? Alafu ukimsubua sana, umwambia, anakuambia kwenda. Nakwambia. It's a man. It's not acheka. Anajua vile anafanya. So hata ukimwacha kwa nyumba, you don't feel ati umeacha mtu ama nini. But what we normally do, lazima tumwache na chakula, and then kama niko loud naenda kwa ofisi narudi, lakini wanakaa hapa na mtu wa kazi.
Yeah.
Lakini akiwa kwa nyumba hata ajui mtu wa kazi anafanya nini, ajui nini, chakula yake iko hapo, anaenda kwa microwave, akitaka kuoga anaenda kuoga na hot shower na chamucha na anaoga, this kind of thing. Yeah. Akitaka kulala, waweza kuta ati ako kwa nyumba amefunga hii mlango, unamuita anakataa kuitika. Anajifugia tu hata ukiitana. Isipokuwa ajue that's a voice of father, mother or my brother. Kama ni mwingine which hawezi kufugua kwa nyumba. Yeah.
Sasa nataka nikuulize about society. How wame accept aje mtoto wako?
Let me say. Anaitwa Wairia, Alex Wairia. Wairia hajulikani kwa kitu kingine. Anajulikana siji Murang'a County. Gavana wetu anaitwa nani? Mwangi Wairia. So huyu akiona Mwangi Wairia kwa TV, hiyo ndio furaha yake. Akiona Huru kwa TV, each and every reader ni furaha yake. So kwa nyumba, within society, hata jina yake hajulikani, anaitwa Wairia. Anaitwa tu governor. Wapi governor? Mimi ni mzee. Tuko na chama wazee, mimi ndio chairman wa Kiama and Kikuyu Council of Elders Murang'a County. Hawa wote ni watolea busi mpaka huyo kuingia chama ya wazee. So each and every party tunaenda na yeye. Hata ni mimi nikienda huko, tukienda na yeye, mimi namuonanga jioni tu. Anakaa na wazee wanampenda. Governor kuja pale. Governor ako wapi? Governor ako wapi? Unaona he knows how to socialize with the people actually. And especially the men, he knows how to socialize. Hata ukienda naye kwa hoteli, like December, sometimes we take them in a kind of a picnic. Unaona he's not this desperate. Unaona tu anachukua soda, anaenda kwa counter, anasema nataka soda. So in society is very good in the society.
No,
wamemu-expect. Wamemuitikia. Hata saa hii nikimpatia pesa, nimwambia enda kwa kinyozi. Anatembea tu, anaenda kwa kinyozi, anakaa. Anataka nini? Anatoa. Ananyolewa. Akinyolewa anaingia kwa hapo kwa hoteli na kunywa chai, anaangalia. Alafu anatoka, analipa, anaenda. So society So, sababu hata mimi nikienda pahali simuachi. Mama akienda pahali amuache. Hawa vijana wakitaka kwa mpira wanaenda na yeye. You see, some fathers and mothers wanafungia kwa nyumba. Huyu tunamtoa nje. So the community, they know, even the government themselves, they know fulani ako na mtoto wako na fulani sababu simufichi. So the community has expected idea. Yeah.
Sasa,
and that is why nilikuja na hii program ya kufanya ni na source chakula kwa watu, na source chakula kwa donors, na nikienda kupatiana chakula, isipokuwa ni simu ilipotea, kitabu ikapotea, na ungeona Waidia akipatiana kwa chakula kwa hao wengine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sasa wewe because umekuwa mzazi, amekuwa present kwa maisha ya mtoto wako, unaweza ambia aje mzazi wa kiume like a father mwenye ako na mtoto in matters of raising a child with Down syndrome? Sasa hapa una address baba.
Now mimi ningetaka kuambia wasasi wa wanaume, ni mzuri sana ujue hii isipokuwa ni wewe, hii mtoto hageshaliwa. Kwa hivyo sababu amezaliwa na unaona vile yako, you have to take care of him. Umuitikie vile yako, na we ujiitikie ulizaa mtoto kama huyo. Ndio hiyo mind ikikuwa set ati umezaa mtoto kama hiyo na ni wako na ni Mungu amekupatia, it is very easy to bring that child up. So ningeambia wase, you expect what God has given you, probably that's a blessing to you. Lakini mnaona kama sio hakuna haja ya kuwaficha. Ukienda pahali, enda na yeye. Na ukiona mtu mwingine yako na hiyo, please muadvise vile ana. Sababu ina Kiruguru special, niko na hata saa hii wananiita. So how can we help these children? How can we do this? How can we do this? So I have nimetoa watu wengi kwa manyumba zao, nikawapeleka kwa shule. So wababa na mamabia, hii ni baraka. Mimi naonaga hii ni baraka tukiwa naye kwa nyumba, sababu asubuhi hafanye nini, na tuona kama ni Mungu tu. Kama tungedina hii bahali nimefika, singekuwa pengine ile tunakula ni Mungu anatupa, ni baraka, sababu tunalea nani kwa mtoto.
Kuna kitu ungependa mayouth uko nje wajue?
Yeah, youth ningependa kuambia watoto hawa ni God upeana. So ukipata hata mtu anaomba maybe ana nini, just saidia na hiyo, hata hiyo bob uko nayo. Watu wengine si ati wanakuanga wamejiweza. Watu wengine si lazima waende omba. Hadi unaweza changa kamchango tu, uite committee yako, friends wako, mchange zile nguo utumii. Watu wengine kama hawa wanakuanga na shida, hawana nguo, hawana kwa kukaa. Wengine wanadhulumiwa tu. Wajua bado kuna wazazi wengine ama mayouths, unapatana tu na mtu ni disabled, lakini wewe mwenyewe unamdhulumu tu. So wewe ukiwa hapo, ningependa kukuambia take chance yako, saidia mtu kama huyu. Maybe huyu ni yeye blessings zako. Umeshinda hapo, umepiga magoti, umeitana juu, unaomba God akupe blessings. Maybe blessings zako ni huyu mtoto. So ukisaidia mtoto kama huyu, umesaidia the whole gang ya watoto kama hawa. Yeah.
So we've come to the end of our interview, and umesikia baba Iria amesema everything they used to say, and by now I hope you've understood that having Down syndrome does not mean that you cannot do anything that you need to. Umesikia his son can warm his food, he goes to school, he does everything that you and I can do. So having Down syndrome does not limit you to doing what you need to do.
Simama upige saruti. Hora dharutia. Pa. Hora.
Lora kamera.
Lora hale. Good. Kwa sawa?
Tumeshukuru sana
hata mimi
for this interview. Juu itatuwezesha kuelimisha watu wengi